And the White House is commonly known as the People's House, but in Washington this week, President Obama called it my house after getting heckled. One America News D.C. contributor David Brody has more on his house.
In the East Room of the White House, the president made an appearance at an event honoring the LGBT community. But things didn't go as planned when a heckler showed up protesting his view that the White House excludes LGBT immigrants from the public discussion. And here's how it went down.
No. Hey. Yeah, listen, you're in my house.
The crowd applauded the "my house" line, but some leading conservatives took to Twitter to scold the president. Ed Morrissey said the following: "My house? Not exactly, Mr. President. That's the people's house, and you are just being provided room and board for as long as your term lasts. Fortunately, the lease comes up in just under 19 months. Ben Shapiro with Breitbart tweeted, quote, "The White House used to be the people's house. Now it's Obama's house, by his own assessment." In a past interview I did with presidential candidate Ben Carson, he touched on this subject.
And you had 5 minutes with the president in the Oval Office. What is something that you would want to tell him? Personally, my point is that what would you want to tell him?
I would want to tell him, sir, I understand that you have very defined ideals of what you think America is, but you work for the people. They don't work for you. And I'd like you to reevaluate your goals in light of what's good for America and not what's good for your agenda.
That's a message that doesn't seem to have gotten up to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue quite yet. David Brody, One America News, Washington.
By the way, this is my desk, just to clarify. Okay, being serious, a New York district attorney has detailed the charges that a corrections officer now faces. He is accused of providing escaped convicts with tools. District Attorney Andrew Wiley says Gene Palmer allowed fugitives Richard Matt and David Sweat to leave their cells and then access a catwalk to make electrical repairs. Palmer also allegedly provided the men with tools hidden in frozen meat, although the 57-year-old argues he did not know about their attempt at escaping. And you know when you're at a party and someone's droning on and on? Well, no droning allowed at this party. Authorities say patriotic partygoers in Boston are going to have to leave their drones at home when celebrating Independence Day this year. The Charles River waterfront, this is the site of the annual Boston Fireworks Show, will officially be a no-fly zone. Police are concerned the drones could crash and that they could injure spectators. They're also afraid the unmanned aircraft could interfere with aerial law enforcement coverage. Ground security for the event will reportedly be increased with additional personnel and cameras also at the event. And also, near Boston, we're following a developing story where firefighters were battling a 7-alarm fire in Webster since earlier this morning. They responded to the fire at the Anglo Mill, which is a vacant fabric mill, around 1 p.m. local time. Reports say the fire then spread to a second structure and that the entire complex is partially occupied. Several crews are responding at this time, but no injuries have been reported. And of course, we'll continue to follow this and bring you updates. And still to come on One America News this hour, if you think your red eyes at the pool are caused by chlorine, you may want to think again. Keep your eyes on us and get ready for a story that'll make you never want to go in a swimming pool again. We'll be right back. This is interesting. The National Health Service in Britain says synthetic blood cells will be used in transfusions in as little as 2 years. The blood is actually made from stem cells that are extracted from the umbilical cords of infants, as well as the blood of adult donors. Officials say the goal is to produce an unlimited supply of blood for all patients. For now, however, they hope to make enough to help those suffering from various disorders like sickle cell anemia. Researchers say the blood could also eliminate the risk of transferring HIV through transfusions. And if you find blood unappetizing, oh wait, it gets better. We were excited that summer is here, but we're not as excited to hear that the CDC has some unpleasant news for swimmers. Officials claim that red stinging sensation that happens to your eyes when you swim is not actually from chlorine, as was previously thought, but is instead caused by urine. Yeah, they say the smell often associated with pools is not just from chlorine, but the combination of the chemical along with urine, lovely, as well as sweat and dirt, lovely. I had a viewer write in during the previous show thanking me for ruining his summer with this story. So hey, you and me both. A disease control expert says, quote, "The solution isn't rocket science, everyone. It is common courtesy." The inaugural flight of Latin America's first electric plane launches a new milestone for the green energy solutions in the region. Soren Larson takes us soaring along for the ride as we are going green. Take a look.
This small plane takeoff might seem like a routine event, but in fact, it's historic. That's because this plane is powered by electricity, the first ever in Latin America.
Finally tonight, a service dog in Australia is playing a vital role in the lives of two 7-year-old twin sisters. One America's Christian Flores has more on how man's best friend became a best friend and assistant to the children at school.
One lucky service dog in Australia gets to follow its twin owners to school every day. The silky terrier named Molly attends classes with Hannah and Olivia Cotel, both girls living with type 1 diabetes and anxiety. It is a first for Canberra's public school system to allow students to bring their service dog to classes.
On day 3, she already alerted them that Hannah was having a hypo. The teacher didn't know, and Hannah's hypo unaware. So Hannah cannot tell you when she's having a hypo, which is incredibly dangerous.
Molly is trained to detect when the girls' glucose levels become unstable. She can also calm them down when they become anxious. Although Molly only accompanies the girls for a few hours daily, she will soon be able to join them for the entire school day. Christian Flores, One American News.
Before we say goodbye tonight, we have an important human friend to say goodbye to. She is one of our very best. She is leaving the OAN nest. Elise Miller, our talented producer, writer, and just a beautiful person inside and out. Elise, you'll be very missed by all of us, but we know you're going to go on to great things. So thank you so much for everything from me and from all of us. And carry on, my friend. I'm Cassie Leuffin. Thank you to our viewers for watching. Good night.